Hello guys and welcome back to a new weapon guide. In today's episode we will discuss a weapon many people ask for, the GRT-BC. If you have watched my videos, you should know that the M4A1 is one of, if not the, my favorite weapon in Battlefield 6, and the GRT has very similar vibes to it. We are going to talk about everything including raw power stats and information, tests, and of course builds and recommendations. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in. The GRT is a carbine that feels good right from level 1. It has a low recoil with a predictable spray pattern. It is actually very close to the M4A1 in terms of power and how it feels, but the GRT is easier to control. Let's start with raw power stats. It has 25 flat damage and an 830 rate of fire, which is on the higher end of all weapons in the game. It has a common for carbines 30 bullet mag, 200 ADS transfer speed, standard headshot multiplier 1.34 and a 2.5 second reload time. Basically it's very close to the M4A1 with little tweaks here and there. So what's the difference? On one hand the GRT has access to the hand stop, so we can make a run and gun build, but it doesn't have access to a short barrel and flashlight, which in turn makes it way less accurate for CQB builds. It has a smaller bloom area with easier recoil control, which makes it usable without an underbarrel at all. But we'll discuss that part more in the next section of the video. For now, let's move to the damage profile of this gun. It has 5 damage zones with damage fall-off points at 9.5, 21, 36 and 75 meters. That body we deal 25, 21.5, 17.7, 16.7 and 14.3 damage in the relative zones. It has standard headshot and hollow point ammo multipliers of 1.34 and 1.5, without access to synthetic ammo. That means we need 4 to 7 shots to the body to kill our target. For a headshot it cuts the needed shots to kill by 1. Hollow points ammo makes it 4 shots needed to kill at 2nd to 4th zones. Talking about time to kill parameters for multiplayer, it takes 219 milliseconds in the first zone, which means it's actually close to top TTK guns and it can compete with anything. For example, the PW7 has a 318 millisecond TTK at zone 1, so the GRT is literally 33% faster. To be real, we can forget about hollow point ammo here, it's practically useless. Better aim for the bigger body hitbox and make our life easier. If we compare the GRT to other carbines in the first range zone, it takes 5th place. In reality, it's not much of a difference, cause 20 milliseconds is not much at all. You can negate that by pre-firing, movement or anything that works to your advantage. Quickly about REDsec raw stats. It takes 8 to 14 bullets to kill. The GRT can be viable as a close quarters weapon in your pocket, next to something that will deal with longer ranges. Let's move to Bloom and Recoil section. We won't waste time testing every attachment. I've got an ultimate attachment guide video which answers all relevant questions. If you want to know specifics about how attachments work, the link is in the top right corner and in the description. Here's the test for the typical bloom area of the GRT when shooting in ADS, based on 1200 shots at a 20 meters range. The green area is where 98% of bullets are landing, and the red area is for the last 2%. Of course we can have pattern like this, or like this, but every pattern will be inside those green and red zones. As we can see, the GRT is very stable and has an insanely balanced spray pattern. The main direction of recoil movement for this green zone is 16 degrees to the left, so to control it, we need to move the mouse accordingly. And if we use attachments for recoil reduction, we can shrink that area to this size. Now a test for the hipfire area without attachments at all at a 10 meter range. Here are examples of spray patterns. Again, every single pattern will be inside the main tested area. With attachments, we can shrink that area to this size. And to remind you, the GRT unfortunately has no access to a flashlight and short barrel. Let's quickly talk about the playstyle. In my experience, this weapon favors an aggressive, pushing playstyle. It can compete in close quarters due to good TTK, rate of fire and stability. Multiply it with your skill and it will be a destroyer type of gun. As for more patient gameplay, I don't think the GRT was created with such thought in the first place. Yes, it can be played in that style, but we don't have access to synthetic ammo or something that really improves such a style. I genuinely believe the GRT is a weapon made for pushing and fast-paced gameplay. But again, I am talking about effectiveness. It doesn't mean you can't play defensively with it. The optimal range is 0 to 36 meters. and it can be played up to 75 meters as we have the same STK. But again, this weapon is made for pushing. I don't think you should waste time killing your targets at longer ranges. There are many weapons that will do this job way better. Now we are moving on to the builds section. There are two main builds I found effective for myself, which are balanced and hipfire versions. Additionally, I've got one more 45 round mag build, in case you want all the ammo in this world. The first build is Permanence. This build is my main one, which helped me a lot of times and I really enjoyed playing with it. For the sight, take what you want. Next we need a standard suppressor, an extended barrel, lightweight ammo, a 30-point blue laser, a 30-bullet fast mag, and a mag catch. In case you want a bit of recoil control, switch the standard suppressor and 30-point blue laser for a lightened suppressor and 20-point green laser. That way you won't sacrifice CQB power. Or switch lightweight ammo for standard and take a long suppressor with those 5 points. For me personally, a standard suppressor and default recoil control are more than enough to make it work. With this build, the GRT becomes a very solid pushing machine. And as we are pushing, the preferred optimal range is 0 to 36 meters. That doesn't mean you can't kill your targets past that. It's simply not necessary. It's way better to take that time to push even further, change position or regain resources. And last but not least, for players who love playing closed weapons mode, it's a carbine, so it's suitable for every single class. One more thing, this build with a green laser is fully available at level 23, when the suppressor is unlocked, so it's not too long to wait for its potential. The second build is Run and Gun. For the side section, take what you want. Next we take a CQB suppressor, a hand stop, a 20-point green laser, a 30-bullet fast mag, and a mag catch. In case you want a bigger mag, you can switch the CQB suppressor and the mag catch for a flash hider and a 45 round mag, but I personally prefer a faster reload time. It's up to you. Optimal range, again, 0 to 36 meters. This build is more hipfire oriented than the previous one, but the GRT is so flexible that it's more of a preference thing. Suitable for fast-paced and aggressive gameplay with the ability to shoot while sprinting. But here's the thing, do not forget that we don't have a short barrel and a flashlight, which would improve our hipfire potential even more. That means you should not overextend with the run and gun style, as you don't have such accuracy while sprinting. The best way is to use run and gun up to 10 meters range or less, and for longer ranges, make a small strafe like you do with any other weapon to start hipfiring, or simply use a 1x sight and kill enemies while ADS. If you love run and gun builds, this one is definitely for you. The third build is Mima. It's more of a fun build rather than something to be most efficient with. For the sight, take what you want. Next we need a flash hider, an alloy vertical grip, a 45 bullet fast mag, and a mag catch. In case you don't need the grip, take a lightened suppressor or a standard suppressor with a light barrel. As said, this one is for memes and almost never-ending bullets in your mag. The optimal range is 10 to 36 meters, or if you want to meme hard, 75 meters. It can be precise enough, your ammo will never end, and basically it can be real only cause the GRT is a weapon you can build however you want. This one specifically, I would not recommend for pushing. It doesn't have that hipfire and CQB potential due to no laser. But in any other scenario, it will work. In conclusion, this weapon has a decent recoil with a very easy to control pattern. If you had any problems controlling the M4A1, you will love this weapon. The GRT is solid and stable, very easy to control. This is really one of the weapons that you can build in any way, and it will be good. I enjoyed leveling it up, and it was one of the fastest 0 to 50 for me. But of course, those are purely my thoughts and experience, and I'd like to hear what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. And as always, vote in those polls for the next weapon you want me to cover. If you liked the video, press that like and subscribe buttons for future content. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.